All right. Yay. Happy Monday. I think this is the first official Monday of November. I think it is. But anyway, I have had such a day. I won't even lie to you. I was like not sure what I wanted to share tonight. And it really only came to me about like an hour and a half ago. Um, but I think it's something that a presentation that I've actually done before, usually for other teams. But when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight, I really couldn't stop thinking about just the fact like of where we're at in the year. Like it's freaking November. We have 2 months left. There's so much going on. I know in every single one of you guys' lives. We're in this like push season, but we're also just like going into this season of just where there's just going to be so much fun and excitement going on. But like if you listen to the national wake up call from this morning, I want to kind of help give you guys some focus and some clarity as you are venturing into these next couple months. Because if there's one thing that I've learned, and especially, this last week I've been doing our new coach training, and I'm reminding myself of the fact that the only thing that's kept me going and kept me moving forward is constantly, no matter what's happening in my life, keeping my eye on the ball, keeping my eye focused and centered on my vision, and just all in all, like having clarity in my life through that vision. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because I want to take you guys through this presentation, and I kind of want you guys to do this as we go along. Okay. I know we've talked about this before. Talking about our vision, talking about our why. But if you haven't done this yet, you guys, I really, truly want you to take the time to write out a vision statement, something that you can read and do every single day, incorporate into your daily routine. Okay. So I'm going to dive right in because obviously you can see my title, but that's kind of just what I mean. Like I want you to be able to find clarity through the chaos. Okay. And this is what's helped me. And this is what I think will help you guys. So I want to read you guys my vision. This actually is old. This is actually the vision that I wrote out in my notebook all last year when I was pushing to, hit 2-star and leave my job at the end of 2018. So I'm going to read it to you. Okay. So I am a 15-star diamond coach. I am debt-free and financially stable. I lead a thriving, fun, driven, and loving tribe of women who are not only my dear friends, but who are living their best and happiest lives. I live in a gorgeous country estate with my amazing supportive husband, 2 kids, and we have donkeys, cows, and chickens. I am passionate, filled, and on fire about what I do. I wake up every day at peace and full of gratitude. Now, I haven't read this in like a really long time. And you know what's crazy, you guys? It's like, obviously, I'm not a 15-star diamond coach. Obviously, I'm not completely debt free, but everything else, and I don't have 2 kids or donkeys or cows or chickens. But look, I'm looking at like what this statement says and like what this vision is, and look how much of it has come true. Like, I'm in my dream home, I have a thriving team of loving women that are my dear friends. Like, I do feel passionate and fulfilled and on fire about what I do. I wake up every day, and no, I'm not at peace every single day because of life. But I am so grateful for this life that I do have. And the peace, I'm able to come to it so quickly because I'm reminding myself of what I actually have and what I'm grateful for. And like, I just feel like it's so crazy to me to think like this was something that I wrote out so long ago, and look what it's actually led me to. So this is the power, you guys, of writing these these visions, like writing out this vision. Because, no, I'm not a 15-star diamond coach. No, I'm not completely debt free, but I'm a hell of a lot closer than I was 18 months ago, when I was at the beginning of 2018 when I wrote this. Like look how much farther along I am because I'm keeping myself focused and reading this every day. That was what gave me my fire. You're not going to wake up and want to send invites every day. You're not going to wake up and want to go film a training or, create that next thing for your challenge group or send emails or do check-ins or whatever. You know what I mean? There's going to be days where you don't want to do the actions, but it's the vision, it's like that bigger meaning, that bigger why. That's what gets me to show up, because I know what I'm working for. So just like discipline, just like a muscle, just like, you do currently right now, maybe you don't want to quit your job, but just right now, like you do in your job, there's things that you just do, right? There's actions and disciplines that you do in your job every single day because it's your job. Well, your job is to show up for your freaking dream. Okay? Your job is to show up for your vision. Nobody else is going to show up for this vision. So it's on me, right? To show up and do the things I know I need to do every single day to get me one step closer to this vision. All right? So you got to ask yourself, like, what do you really want? And I know we talk about this in the beginning when we first sign up as a coaches. And I know we talk about this, periodically. But like I said, the crucialness of this is the fact that this never is far from your core, that you are constantly reminding yourself of what your vision really is. Okay? Because you know what? As you're showing up, as life is happening, as shit gets hard, as people quit, as you drop rank, as you hit, don't miss your goal, you're gonna feel discomfort. You're gonna start asking yourself, you're gonna maybe think about quitting, you're gonna, have all this stuff come up. You guys, that stuff is showing you where you need to grow. That stuff is showing you where you need to step up, where you need to lean in. Every time, I don't know where I learned this or what book I read, and I wish I could tell it you just so I could share that with you. But somewhere along the way, I realized that the things that were hard in my life or were feeling hard in my business were actually not signs for me to quit, not signs that I wasn't good enough, but they were just a sign from the universe, from whoever you believe in, that I needed to explore this. I needed to dive into this. I needed to focus my attention on growing in this area. And you guys, you know what that does? That's what makes you an incredible leader. Being able to own your failures, own your mess ups, own your missteps, like to acknowledge, okay, well, that didn't freaking work, or that didn't happen. What can I do? Game on tomorrow. Like, what am I going to do to, do a little bit better to get, back on track, a little bit closer, redirect. All right. Inaction, that's what breeds fear. When that, you don't hit Success Club or you're not where you want to be, in the beginning of the month, like here we are, November 11th, right? Most people are panicking at this point if they haven't reached their goal, like haven't reached that monthly goal that you have in mind. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to tell you not to set goals, monthly goals. I think, it's so important to have monthly goals, yearly goals, all this stuff. But you make the goal, you plant the seed, and you forget about it. You lead with action. You lead with your passion. You lead with your vision. All right? I want you to start setting goals and letting it just be what you do, like setting the goal and just it being your standard instead of it like living in it every single day and focusing on it every single day as that's what actually matters, because that's not what actually matters. The goal, the number, the rank, the things like, success club, this, that, or the other thing, that's not what actually matters. What actually matters is what you do when you wake up in the morning and how you proceed throughout your day every single day. What is your mission? What are you trying to do with this day that you have? Who are you trying to help when you post that post on social media? Who are you, like, are you being authentically you? Are you being the coach that you want to be every single day? Are you being the coach that you want to be on your team every single day? That's what you need to lead on. That's what you need to focus on. All right? And that comes from action. You got to try things. You have to do things that aren't in your norm in order to find your way, to find your voice, to find what works for you. And that's my message to you, is that if something doesn't feel like it's working, if you miss the goal, if you miss the whatever, stop playing the blame game and just do something differently. Not completely, just commit to being the person, commit to being the leader that's going to do and take action in a positive way, that you're going to forgive yourself and move on, right? Because failure, you guys, like, failure really is the path to success. You are just constantly failing and tripping and falling your way forward up the escalator towards your vision, right? It doesn't matter if you crawl, it doesn't matter if you skid a knee or if you fall down to your hands and knees sometimes. What matters is that you get back up, you keep going, you take a step, you lean on the railing when you need to, like you maybe pull on the person ahead of you to help pick you up. I don't know. You know what I mean? Lean in, don't lean back. Because when you lean back or when you take a pause, then you are going to spiral backwards. And then it's going to feel even farther and it's going to feel even harder. And that's when people quit. And I don't want that for any one of you. All right. So leaning in, what does that freaking mean? All right. So basically it's personal development, personal development, finding it, what it is, finding the mentor, not in person, whoever it needs to be, finding that person that's going to breathe life into you when in that area of which that you need to grow. Perfect example is back in the spring. I was just telling some of the girls this at Super Saturday. Like, I remember asking, I was feeling really low in my leadership. I was feeling like, I don't know what the frick I'm doing as a leader. I'm feeling like I'm floundering. I feel like I don't feel like a leader right now. What do I need to do? And Ashley Feldison on our call said Grant Cardone. She said, be obsessed or be average. And I forget what other book, maybe that was the 10X rule. And at that moment, I didn't even care. I was just like, all right, she said that, I'm going to go try that. And you guys, did that book completely like jive with me? Hell no. It actually, like, the first time I listened to it, it was sort of like, you either, not everyone is gonna, everyone loves Grant Cardone, but everything he said, as uncomfortable as it was at times, was truths that I needed to hear, and what it did is it led me to more books. It led me to finding other mentors. I found Ed Milet. I found Keith Callahan. I found, then I came back to 10X Rule and I listened to that and I found other things. And I just started picking, I just started learning and pulling it in and trying things. And you know what? I continued to fail. I failed a freaking lot this year. All right. But you have to be willing to try and get uncomfortable and fail. You've got to start leaning in to the things that aren't feeling like they're coming to you, aren't feeling like you've mastered them, or you can feel it in your business. You can feel it. Like, you can feel where you're not so confident. And what happens when we feel unconfident? We stop taking action. We don't do as much because we don't feel like we are qualified enough to do the thing. But see, that's where you're wrong. That's where everyone gets it backwards. Everyone thinks you need to, you need to have a back up against the wall story to be a coach. Wrong. You just need to have a story and be willing to share it. You need to know all the things you need to know before you go out and start helping people to be a successful coach. No, wrong. You just need to go out and you need to start talking to people and start inviting them. You need to start sharing. You start doing, and that's what is going to get you closer to where you want to be. It's the people that do that are successful. It's not the people who do it perfectly. It's not the people who don't fail. It's not the people who, know every, had the degree, were a teacher or whatever and have a marketing background that are top coaches. It's the people who tried and figured it out along the way. The person that really sucked at Instagram, but then just kept trying and looking at people, getting inspired and watching YouTube trainings and all these things and figuring out lighting and figuring out what filter they want to use. And they finally found their voice and just started speaking like they normally would talk, and they found their people. They found their rhythm, right? How many calls have you been on where you've listened to stuff like that? Where you've heard top coaches tell you they didn't know what they were doing. They just figured it out. They just were willing to look stupid, right? So find your mentors. Start being a sponge again. Not again, but commit to being a sponge always. Be resourceful for yourself. You are battling for your business and battling for your vision every single day. Which means don't wait for me to tell you, what book I'm listening to or whatever, because it doesn't matter what I'm listening to. It matters what you need to hear. And it might not be what I need to hear, You have to be your own advocate, right? And let, that stuff that you're consuming, let it be part of your journey right now. Let it be part of your story. It is part of your story. One of my favorite things to do, I was just thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight. I haven't shared a post yet today. And I was like, you know what? I just am going to share what's on my mind. I'm going to share what I'm working through. I'm going to be as just transparent as I possibly can about what I'm feeling in my life right now. And that's all you need to do, you guys, because as soon as you understand that this business isn't complicated, the closer and more authentically you can get to just being yourself openly with others, it doesn't feel like work anymore. It doesn't feel so hard. It just starts to flow and happen for you. And then you almost feel this weight lifted because you're just, enjoying what you're doing. You're just enjoying, doing what you're passionate about and being yourself. It's almost that feeling that people get when they finally stop caring what people think, except then you start caring what people think. I mean, obviously we all care about what people think, the people that really truly matter to us. We care what they think. But if you can develop this thick skin, this belief through your vision that you truly are, this incredible person, this incredible, you have this incredible gift and you need, this story that you need to share, I promise you it's going to make all the difference. All right. So these are just some of the things that, have helped me. All right. So I talked a lot about the books that I first read when I first started coaching. And I will tell you, out of the list of these books that I truly think that would really make a huge impact on every single one of you are The Four Agreements and The Universe Has Your Back. The Four Agreements, it's actually something that I've been reminding myself that I need to go back and reread because it's literally the fundamentals of life. If you are someone that struggles with what other people think, you need to read this book because it's literally the book that finally, like as a new coach, it was the thing that I needed to read so badly to understand that we are all imperfect beings. We are all, Deb at work or, whoever like in my life that I'm so worried about is going to judge me. She's got just as much shit in her own closet. She's got her own insecurities, and that's why she's so miserable. Like the people that we think that are, that are projecting crap out to us, the people in your inbox and all that stuff. If you can just start to understand that they are just an emotional, mushy-gushy being, like just like you, it takes all of that bullshit away because you just understand now that like their judgment of you, their whatever reaction to you, it's because you living like shining your light is literally illuminating the darkness within them. It's literally shining a light that they don't want to deal with on the shit that they haven't, aren't willing to address right now. And that's okay, right? We're not here to force people to want to change. We're not here to force people, to want to, change their life. We're here to be the light for the other people. We're mirroring the light for others that are ready for it. Okay? So the Four Agreements and the Universe Has Your Back. Universe Has Your Back is just something that really has helped me in so many periods of my business and continuously now to just understand that this is so much bigger than me. That when I feel like I've done all the actions and when I feel like when I know I'm doing my best and I'm doing the things, there's also just the fact that like you need to trust that it's all going to fall into place. You have to have the balance, right? The vision. That's where it all comes back to the vision, you guys. If you just, when you speak that out every day, when you read that every day, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time, right? I'm showing up and doing the things, it's going to happen. You're showing up and you're focusing on you and you're focusing on your personal development and you're sharing your passion like wildfire and you are, showing up on social media and you're inviting, if you're doing all of those things every single day, there's no freaking way that you're not going to hit your goal. There's no freaking way you're not going to hit Success Club. There's no freaking way you're not going to advance your business, move your business forward, start accomplishing those goals on your vision, right? But that's where we have to have this balance of being accountable to the actions and trusting that it's all going to fall into place, right? And then obviously, like I can't speak enough about the power of just like learning from those that have done it already. Every top coach that you've ever compared yourself to is literally just an example of what is possible. They are just proof out there in the universe that whatever you're dreaming of is possible. Learn from them. We're not here to recreate the wheel, you guys. I've literally, like my new coach training that I just did this week, I literally not verbatim, I literally took it directly from Ashley Feldeisen's training. I knew I needed a new training. I wanted something simple. Boom. She's at Super Saturday. She talks about it right when I need a new coach training. Boom. Remade it this week. I didn't go, stress myself out trying to come up with something completely brand new. I took her principles, her layout, and I made it my own. You guys, that's exactly what you can do right now with your own business. If you want to run a successful challenge group, if you want to do better with your social media, or you want to learn how to become a leader, you want to, wherever it is that you're feeling that discomfort, go out and find a mentor. Like that, I'm constantly finding myself new mentors in this business, and these people have no idea who I am. Like they have no idea who I am, but I'm learning from them from afar, right? So that's what I highly recommend that you do. The other thing is podcasts, but I will tell you that I go in and out of podcasts. I love podcasts for just a quick, jolt of inspiration sometimes. But with the thing about podcasts is sometimes they bounce around so much about topic that sometimes it almost isn't, when I'm in a season where I need just focus and clarity, especially like right now, like I haven't been listening to any podcasts because I know I just need something. I know what I'm struggling with right now. I know where my mind is at right now. And I need to just fuel it with exactly what I need, if that makes sense. So that's the beauty of it though, you guys, is like you are the boss. You are in control of what you consume, of what you believe, of what you do. So know that at any second, all the time, you're in complete control of where you go from here, of how you're going to feel tomorrow, of what you're going to do tomorrow, right? Okay, so non-negotiables. This is literally like sort of like a contract that I made with myself. And it's a contract that I want you to make with yourself. That no matter what happens, you do this for you. You do this for you, and you do this for this vision that you're working so hard for. This vision that you so deeply deserve. You need to focus on you every single day. First thing, you guys. And I know, I can't say that I know what it's like to be a mom. But I can tell you that the idea of motherhood and the idea of this next phase of my life 2 years ago was exactly why I knew that I needed this so bad. I knew that I needed to get in a rhythm of taking care of me, of making that a priority. Because if I were to live back in the cycle that I was constantly living in before, then everything else would always come first. But I know well enough now, just like I hope that you know well enough now, that every time you put yourself on the back burner, everything else suffers. Okay? So you need to own that first hour of your day. Whether it means waking up early, that's already something that that was something I mentally prepared myself for a long time ago, was that I was always going to probably need to be the first one up if I wanted to make that time for myself. Obviously, that's subject to change as life seasons happen, but making that commitment to you, making that commitment for that time for yourself every day. Mapping out your schedule, you guys. Like, this isn't perfect. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect at this, but almost weekly, at least monthly, in the beginning of the month, I map out my month. And if you saw on our team page, I challenge you to also, periodically map out your next 6 months. Not perfectly, rough draft. What is happening? What's coming up? What program do you want to focus on? What programs are you going to do from here on out? And so that you give yourself sort of a game plan, right? Mapping out your weekly schedule. Blocking out your time allows you to find the free time that you have. But it also, you guys, is what's going to allow you to figure out you're the CEO of your business hours. Like best you can. I know life happens, but this is sort of like what I committed to when I was working full time, was I committed to waking up at least an hour and a half to 2 hours early every single day. So no matter what time in the morning I needed to be to work that day, I made sure that I ate enough time to wake up, do my workout, get my invites done, eat my frog. Eating my frog first was super important to me. Before I walked out the door, I wanted to have those two things done because I knew that I couldn't control my job. I knew that the pockets of time that I had at my job were subject to change. And I also knew that I couldn't control necessarily when I got home. And I couldn't control what happened when I got home. So I prioritized those pieces of my business. I prioritized myself. I prioritized my frog because I wanted to always make sure that I was filling up my own cup and I was moving my business forward, sending those invites. Okay. But I also learned very early on, and this is something that if you haven't struggled with it yet, then it's definitely going to come up at some point. Family time, prioritizing your relationships. My relationship with my fiance / now husband was a huge, huge priority for me very early on because he's part of my why. He's part of my vision. But I also am the type of person that, I love this business so much and I want my vision so badly. I was, I could work all the time. I could have, right? Obviously, sometimes that changes, right? When things get to happen. But I needed just as much as I was willing to work that much. I also needed to develop the discipline to prioritize my unplugged time just as much as my on time, right? So I, to this day, prioritize getting my stuff done in the first block of my day. So morning time, working, in chunks throughout the afternoon. But by the time that Nate gets home, 5, 6 o'clock, I'm done. Unless we have a call, I'm, maybe on social media, maybe you're going to see what I'm eating for dinner that night, but I'm unplugged. I'm Amy time. I'm Amy Nate time. And that's so important to me even now because I'm doing this so I can live my dream life. And my dream life is this, right? My dream life, this is is majority of the time to live my very boring, very basic, plain life, right? So I want you to prioritize business hours as best you can, map them out. Figure out the time of day that is most important for you and your family, you and your spouse, and block that out, right? Work around it. Don't use it as an excuse. Make it part of what focuses you, right? I didn't do less just because I knew I was going to unplug in the evening. I just got really disciplined about when I was going to work, right? It made me that much more intentional in the morning time. It made me that much more intentional to get crap done before Nate came home, right? So I planned around that. So that's what I want you to do. And part of that is also addressing your frogs, knowing what your frogs are. I'm sure I'm not alone with inviting being one of your frogs, okay? But whatever it is, make sure it's the thing that you do first, so that way it's done and over with. All right? And constantly, part of that, like I said in the beginning, is this reflection piece. So obviously, this is what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on showing up for yourself first every single day. I want you to focus on showing that and sharing that passion in this journey that you're on social media, sharing it with others, right? I want you to invite people because all of this, you can't do any of it without the other. Focusing on yourself, you have to do that for you. Sharing your passion, you have to do that, because if you're going to send invites, you need to be sharing it and also doing it in order for any of it to make sense, in order to build that trust. But then the other last piece of that is the reflection piece. You should be able to put your head on the pillow every single day and know, I did the best that I could do today. And if you can say that, then that's it. That's all, right? And it all depends on what your vision is and what your goals are, right? If you go to bed every night and you know that you did all that you could do in this day, that's all you need to do. That comes from you having that discipline and accountability with yourself, right? Doing a brain dump every morning, prioritizing what you need to do, setting those business hours, mapping out your schedule, all these things. It's all a part of it, right? But that's what's going to make you feel good in the process of this discomfort of growing, right? That's what's going to make you feel so empowered. And that's what's going to help you become that leader that I know every single one of you are working and becoming and craving to be. Not that you're not a leader now, but think of the leader that you're going to be a year from now, 2 years from now. That's the thing that gets me so excited, is like, I think of who I was a year and a half ago, and I look at myself now, and it's like, oh my God, I can't even wait to see where I'm at, 3 years from now. Like, what I'm going to learn, what I'm going to do, who I'm going to be, how I'm going to speak, right? Okay, so owning your goals. We talked about this a little bit today, but sort of develop this mantra of telling yourself when things get hard, this isn't forever. That's one of the things that I repeated this to myself all the freaking time, you guys. I actually told this to Nate a lot because, there's so many times and we were both burned the frick out. I remember so many times he wanted to quit his job, and we were so frustrated that we couldn't find a house and all this stuff. And I wanted to leave my job and I wasn't there yet. And all of these things, like, you just have to remind yourself that this isn't forever. You are on the road. You're on the journey. And I know so badly you want to get to the destination. And I promise you, you're going to. But, nothing happens when we want it to. It happens when it's meant to, right? So just trust. Come back to that trust. Refocus and just know, and focus on, find something every single day, something good, something positive. Maybe it's just reading your vision again, or maybe it's finding, focusing on those little wins, gratitude lists, whatever, to get yourself back in a positive headspace, to remind yourself that this isn't forever, but I'm on my way, right? And consistency. Oh God, you guys, I can't even tell you, you all know this. You know this. You talk about this with your challengers every day, about the power of consistency. It's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with life. The more we do things consistently, the more it compounds and the more of an impact that it's actually going to make, right? Everything we do now is going to pay off in 30 to 60 days from now, in a year from now, 2 years from now. But it all, we talk a lot about what you do right now is going to impact, you in a month or you in 2 months. Guys, what you do every single day, that's what's going to matter, right? What if we just lived our life that way? And that's my goal of this call, is to get you to start thinking everything I do today is going to help me get one step closer, right? Stop thinking in periods and push periods and things like that. What if you just constantly lived in this state of I'm growing, I'm constantly moving forward, I'm committed to this journey, I'm committed to this vision. So even if today is not a good day, I know when my head hits the pillow, even if it didn't go perfectly today, I know I did all that I could do, right? I'm going to remember that now is not forever. I'm going to keep going tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit better. So focus on you and everything's going to fall into place. It all comes back to you. First hour of your day, what are you going to do? You're going to focus on yourself, right? You're going to read that vision. You're going to remember why you're here and what you're working for. And you guys, the cool thing about this vision, that was my vision a year ago. That's completely changed now because some of those things have actually come to fruition. So now I get permission to dream bigger. I get to dream an even bigger dream and an even bigger vision. And that's what I'm working towards now, you know? And that's the coolest thing about it. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to talk about this stuff to your team, to your, to whoever is your person and on this team, in this business, whoever. I want you to get used to talking about it. Go. I want you to share it with your followers. Whatever it is you're working towards, guys, talk about that stuff. I talked like crazy about how I couldn't wait to be able to, have whatever Monday I wanted to have, work from home, be able to work in our dream house, in my dream office. I talked about these things all of the time, and then they happened, right? And that allows people to be on the journey with you, right? To envision through your story, them start to dreaming a little bit bigger. Talk to your spouse. One of the things that really made a game changer, not just in, not just my business, but our relationship, was me communicating with Nate all of the things that I wanted through this business, like for us, sharing with him, like the income I wanted to make, sharing with him why I wanted so badly, why I worked so hard, why I wanted to work from home, or why I did this, because I want this life for us that is so much bigger. I don't want to live the life that we grew up with. I want to live it better. Right? Okay. So I already kind of talked about this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but commit to your morning, commit to how you start your day. Find that time, whatever it is for you. I know some of you work night shift, and so this is completely opposite, but your morning is your morning, whatever it is, right? What are you going to do? When are you going to get those frogs out of the way, right? Do them first thing. I promise you that will be a game changer in and of itself, is getting your frogs out of the way. Meditating, if you don't, that's a huge one that I've been meditating most of my coaching journey, but it really started to make a huge impact the bigger my business got, or like the closer I started inching along towards my goals. Meditation was a huge thing for me. Utilizing your pockets, being smart with your time, being very intentional, but also like being present where you are. I know we talked a little bit about this today too in our chat, but that's the other thing. Like just coming back to the trust factor is also just knowing it's okay to be present exactly where you are. Like, be a great nurse right now when you're at your job. Be great at whatever you're doing right in this moment. Be present as, a spouse, as a mother, whatever. That's why we have the business hours. That's why you wake up early to get your stuff done, so you can be present in what you're doing, because you're going to be a little spread. You guys, that's the point of this. Whatever you're working towards, like, you are in control of it. If you're working towards that really big vision, that means that you're going to be sacrificing throughout this time. It means that you're going to be kind of spread, right? But you are in complete control of that. So you're in control of when you work, how hard you're pushing, or what your goals are. And then you're also in charge of when you unplug, right? You're in charge of the pace at which you go. Okay? For me, I had a hard goal. I knew exactly for when I was trying to get, go per diem with my job. It was a non-negotiable for me. And I was so committed to that. I think about that stuff all the time. It's amazing what you'll do when you want something so badly, right? how hard your work, nothing, you'll make it happen, and it won't feel such like a sacrifice at the time, but you'll look back and you realize, dang, that was a sacrifice, right? But then utilizing your PD, utilizing those mentors throughout that time, right? We all are in this together. Our goals may be different, our visions may be different, but that's what that's what unites us, you guys. We all crave more in some way, shape, or form. So lean on each other, talk to each other, work together, learn from each other, right? And then now do not underestimate the power of unplugging, right? You deserve that time to unplug just as much as you deserve to work really hard for that vision. We are all human. We all need to recharge. And you can't pour from an empty cup. And that comes from also recognizing that the gift of this job is that it makes us recognize the power of boundaries, right? So you set your boundaries. And yeah, we talked about all of this. All right, that's it. That's all I really got. Oh man, let me stop my share. Okay, guys, was that helpful? Does anyone have any questions? All right. Oh my God, I did better than I thought I would. I have like 10 minutes left. That's awesome. Well, I'm not going to keep you for that because I do not love it when I take the calls this long, but I am so freaking